All right, what's up, y'all? We back again for the Scream Suite. This is a Carefree Black Nerd Suite series. This is our third installment. We will be discussing none other than Scream 3. I am your host, Rhayne Coleman, and I have another voice, but it should not be new to y'all. Please tell these folks who was in the building with me today.
Hey everybody, my name is Cole Jackson, one half of the We Watch This crew, where we talk
Hey,
about black cinema. We are a movie watching podcast, so this should be easy for us, right?
hey, look, should be what is it? Old hat? Is that the term? Hat, new old hat? Yeah. So I don't know. One of you.
It's Black
What?
History Month, man. Any white terms, I don't know. Okay.
There we go. Yes, power to the people. So we are going over Scream 3 the third in the franchise, one of the more polarizing installments of Scream. And before jumping into all this mess, Scream itself as a franchise, is this something that you have seen, had any desire to see in the past, or is this like so far removed from you and your horror thriller viewing?
Um. So I most definitely was a fan of the first two.
Hmm.
So it only made sense to watch the third one when it came out, and that's kind of when I fell off after that. It just they don't make them like they used to.
No, you are not wrong. You are not wrong. I think the third one is the one that really three and four. They're like it. Let me nerd out for a second. It's like the
Sure.
one and two was like the golden age of comics, and it's the stories that shaped your viewing of comics as a kid coming up, and then you get to the 90s. And I think that's where three is, because the 90s was kind of hit or miss. You had dudes with muscles on top of muscles on top of muscles. Every
Mm-hmm.
woman was a size zero with long legs, big old breasts. And
And
it's like,
no booty.
there we go.
It was no
Same
booty in
here.
this one. I said, "Oh,
Look.
Gale." I said, "Okay, Gale. No ass in this one too. How many more years you gonna go without no booty?"
Hey, look, she was doing Friends. She couldn't have no booty. So,
Was Friends still on in 2000?
yes, Friends was still on. Yep.
When did the first
Mhm.
black person get in there? Was it
The
2001 or
last,
something?
the last season of Friends, in like episode, I might get it wrong,
No,
but like seven.
Aisha Tyler was on there. She
Yeah,
was
in the
she
last
was what's her?
season, she
Oh,
was Ross's girlfriend. That's what I'm talking about.
Ross dated a black. I've never really watched Friends like that. I've seen an
Well,
episode
yeah,
here and
when
there,
you've
and
seen Living Single, you don't
I
need to
said,
see Friends. All right,
"This is
so
not the time nor the place, sir."
but what
Okay,
this is is the Scream Suite. Yes, yes, we are officially stepping into this very interesting film. So
don't say interesting, right? This was a bad movie. This
so
was horrible.
it was okay. So what about it? Is there anything specifically that you like? This is, though it's all bad, this the thing that just threw me the fuck off. Is there anything like that?
Like, was it just one single thing? Is that what
No,
you're
no, like
asking?
the initial thing that you was like, all right, now I see that this really ain't shit. Like you went into it excited from one and two.
When you seen Tia's boyfriend from Sister Sister, I knew it was gonna be bad then.
So not the beginning, not with Cotton.
Nah, when
Oh,
I seen him pop up, I was like, oh, we're going down. We're going down that. Look, anytime you have the actor who was in Tripping, I already
bro.
know where we're going. I know what kind of movie this is.
Man, say, well, okay, so Scream 3, just to get I don't know, the housekeeping out the way, while Sydney and her friends visit the Hollywood set of Stab 3, the third film based on the Woodsboro murders, another Ghostface killer rises to terrorize them. So this synopsis is quite misleading. I get being
Very.
succinct to like get the story out, but Sydney and her friends, that's not the case. Also, visit the Hollywood set. She was lured there by a killer. Like, so this is very much the Little Mermaid. A fish turns into a woman and becomes a queen. That,
Mm,
that it's missing a lot
mm,
of nuance there, but that's
right.
essentially what they're saying this is about. I disagree. though this is a bad film, a bad installment, what are your thoughts on Sydney, the main character?
I got to the point where I was kind of tired. The problem with this one was it's like we get to a point where it's like, oh, it's a twist.
Mm-hmm.
This time it's this person, or it
Mm-hmm.
could be anybody. Like, I don't know. By this time, I felt like the main actress, oh, I can't think of her
Nev
name.
Campbell.
Nev Campbell was like, she felt kind of tired in this movie too. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was like, she kind of tired right now. She wanted to do something else.
Bro, you saying that to foreshadow is exactly how I felt about her in 5. I was
Mm,
happy to see her because it's nostalgic, but to me it was like, all right, y'all, I'm gonna give y'all 20 minutes, use them sparingly. I'm ready to go. Like, let's pass the torch.
and I think it's pretty sad that like they're gonna do they didn't want to pay her for the new one, but this is basically essential. I mean, the reason why she's not in the newest one is because they weren't gonna pay her the money, and I'm like,
Which,
the franchise is around her.
yeah, and the funny thing to me is, like, being a bit meta for a second, Nev Campbell, as far as I am aware, is not a problematic white person. She just acts and like does her own thing. And to be
Mhm.
able to build a solid franchise around her acting, yeah, you may not have known it was gonna be the hit it was back in 96, but like in 2022, I would kill to, even if I wrote a horror story or whatever, I would kill to have her in my property. Like, she is, like you said, the face of this franchise. There's
Mhm.
no scream without Nev Campbell.
Right.
Um, yeah, so that's so sad, man. That is
But I
sad as
feel like
hell.
in this one, the third one that we're speaking on,
Yeah.
it just felt like she was kind of like fed up, and it was just like because it took a while before they came out with 4. I think it took a few
Mm-hmm.
years before 4 came out,
Mm-hmm.
but you could kind of tell like she was like, for me,
Yeah.
because we both watch movies on a consistent basis, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you can tell when actors or actresses get into a movie and they're just like, I
Yeah.
kind of don't want to do this no more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to
Mm-hmm.
do other things. And it just felt like Nev Campbell was to the point where she was just like, I'm not trying to be Sydney for a little while.
Yeah, yeah. And not for the rest of my damn life. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
typecasting like a motherfucker, man.
Bro, I mentioned this on one of the first 2 episodes, but I remember being a kid watching Scream, and Party of Five used to come on, where she was one of the 5 kids in that.
Hmm.
I never watched it. I probably watched 1 or 2 episodes, but I have no memory. But of one scene in particular, and it was after, I think, the first Scream had became so big, where she was in a diner as a waitress and somebody came in with a mask or scared her, but they alluded to the movie. And I was like, oh, y'all got a hit on y'all hands. Like, this is damn good. Me as a kid, I'm like,
You got
I
a
put
hit
my
on your hands.
I put my cigarette out, I put on my smoking jacket. I was like, yeah, nigga. But what
We
I'm
weren't
saying is, no,
we
go ahead.
weren't allowed to watch Party of Five because it wasn't reality based. There's no way white people could struggle on TV in our household.
Man, say it for me. Party of Five came on after something, and I don't remember what it is. But you know how they played a little teaser for the show.
Yeah.
I never watched Party of Five. Like, I was like, I'm not. I watched enough. I watched Seinfeld. I watched Mad About You. I watched Dharma and Greg. I was a latchkey kid in the Midwest with no cable. I'm
Mm,
not watching my prime time. These. I'm not watching this over like Martin or New
right.
York Undercover. Some shit.
Right.
You ain't getting me
Party
that way, Nev.
Party of
But
Five. White
yeah.
people struggling. What kind of place is that? Get out of here.
You a damn fool. But yeah, I'm a stan. I'm a fan of Nev. And the funny thing is, I mentioned watching Friends, and I did watch Friends.
Mm,
Monica Geller is the character Courtney Cox plays in Friends. I was never like a fan of hers. I didn't have a favorite one of that group of people, but like watching it, you just get comfortable and familiar with seeing these people on your screen. And I never liked her. I never liked that
mm,
character ever. Like, I thought she was cool with the group, but overall, I was like, man, this motherfucker weird. But seeing her in this, because we were speaking about Nev being maybe typecast, is so interesting because Gale, as far as being maybe hyper focused, is very similar to the Monica character, but that's where it ends. Like
mm.
the way she talks, the way she acts. And so this is kind of where I fell for Courtney Cox. Like, I was like, okay, I'll watch what she's in. be it a movie or TV show or something. So
I completely felt opposite. I was like, I never want to see anything else that this woman is in because she is. I just,
was
I
a bad
think for me,
actor.
man, I think at this point, especially in the 2000s, I was so heavy into like black stuff. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, watching this movie, because I didn't go to the theaters to see it. Of course, I got it on like bootleg DVD or whatever. So it was just a simple, like I was watching it just for the sake of being able to have something to talk to my friends about because
Yeah.
I knew they was gonna see it too. But I was like, I hope I don't never see none of these people in anything I ever want to watch. No, for real, because I
No.
was too entrenched in just trying to be in hip hop and
Yeah.
black culture was like kind of real heavy on me at that time. You know what I'm saying? I was still a kid
Yeah.
too, so I'm literally trying to, I'm embracing a lot of more blackness than
Yeah.
anything else. For me, this is just something so I would just be able to watch it so I could just talk to my friends and just say I seen it.
That's fair. And I feel the same way. I guess my question now is, do you think that that was times changing? Okay, let me walk this back. So Scream 1 and 2 were pretty good. They came out in the mid going into late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And that's around the time where you did have this explosion of black media. So the
Mm-hmm.
Martins, the Living Singles, the I still group in New York Undercover, but that POC representation. Taking that off the board for a second, you just think this is a bad movie, right?
Oh yeah, it's just the twist is just dumb. The people who are in this, they're making another stab movie, and I get it. It's like, oh, the rules of the trilogy. This is it just how can I put it? It just wasn't meta anymore. Like it was got to the point where it was like a joke now. Like now you're just being
Okay.
stupid.
And I
You know what
feel
I'm saying?
that because this was a very campy ass over the top movie.
Yeah.
Now,
The
go
first
ahead.
two were very smart. It
Mm-hmm.
made sense.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like it didn't feel like a joke. This just felt like a joke to me.
Okay,
Now,
okay. So now let's say this was actually a good movie. Let's just say this is not the movie we got. Do you think, again, what you saying, you kind of exploring more of your blackness at that time? Do you think had this have been a good, smart movie like the first two, that you would have maybe still felt the same way? Like, I'm into my blackness, I'm not trying to really fuck with this.
mm, not necessarily. I
Okay.
think I still would have been. It just was fatigue. We had so many other dope things that came out in
Mm-hmm.
2000, and that's just like this movie to me. This is
Yeah.
personal opinion. This movie wasn't made for me. I couldn't relate to nobody, even the black dude in there,
Token.
Tia's boyfriend. I
Mm-hmm.
can't never think his name, but
He token. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
No, no,
he
no.
didn't. And the way he the way he went down was horrible. They just
It
threw him off
was,
the dam. They
yeah.
just threw him.
But they could have threw him in the pool and made some black people can't swim joke. So I guess that's the silver lining.
But he did. He did when he was going down there. So he was like, "Motherfucker!" They gave him his typical black lines and
The,
everything too. Oh
the
shit,
same line,
motherfucker!
yeah.
Oh,
The
it's
same one
like
from
get out of here,
Not Another Teen Movie.
right?
Damn. No. But no, so I bring that up because I think the connection I'm trying to make is media back in the day, and I mean like maybe 70s, 80s, or when TV first came around, it was a lot of whiteness just in your face.
Mm-hmm.
And they were able to profit off of us because that's all we saw on TV. Like me, I grew up again watching Mad About You, Murphy Brown, Dharma and Greg, shit that was on network TV. But around this time, that, like you said, this movie ain't
Boy, you had
really.
UPN.
No, I didn't. Like, not at.
That wasn't
Like,
cable. UPN was a nigga.
what
I
I'm
know.
saying, no,
I ain't
what
got
I'm
cable
saying is,
either.
as far as me growing up, being like elementary, middle school, those were the images I was used to seeing. By the time
Oh,
I got to middle school, sure, UPN is coming up, and I'm watching the Moeshas and the Parkers and all that. But what I'm saying is, I had already gotten so used to watching these white people on screen that now, when you do have that shift where you got all this black media, stuff like this can take a back seat. And I wonder if that is part of the reason for the decline for Scream 3. Was like, oh, this is a cash grab, we know this is gonna work, we can get the game back together, people gonna watch it just because it's third installment, or like.
well, if I'm not mistaken, Ray, this was actually still made pretty decent money.
Yeah, no. This made a butt ton of money, but what I'm saying is culturally, because we could see you and me both, and a bunch of other people can see that this third installment was not as good.
Yeah.
Was not as good. It wasn't as serious. I don't need a movie to take itself extremely seriously, but the biggest issue that I have with the Scream franchise is Ghostface, and not the Ghostface persona, but I on one hand I like that the strength and the ability of this person is never consistent because it alludes to it being multiple people, but at the same time it's like we're going to eventually hit Fast and Furious 10 levels of this nigga now can fly or can kick a hole in a wall or something. It's just like I like the mystery, I like the continuity, I like that aspect of it, but I
Mm.
don't want another Scream 3, and I can't pinpoint what made this so different from the others. Like, did
So
West? Mm,
from my understanding, if I'm not mistaken, I think this around about this time, I think they either went to a different writer or a different I don't think Wes Craven, he directed it.
he
I think
directed
they
it.
changed the writers.
I'm looking. Yep. No,
Something
Kevin
happened.
Williamson. He was still. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I think it's Aaron Kruger.
Yeah, Aaron
Yeah.
Kruger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, maybe they just put
But
up a
that's what. But
judge.
there was you have to anybody watching TV, watching consumer media back in the very late '90s, like '98 to 2002, you
Mhm.
can see the shift. Because even with representation of black shows, like shows being canceled, CW coming up, and now you're getting that the Netflix version of black folks, where you're going to get a lot of light skinned folks with straight hair. Like you see the shift from in media. So that's what I'm saying. Like I think Scream is like Scream 3 is right in the middle of that. Like you said, being a trilogy, you gonna make the money the first weekend anyways, because people want to watch it. But
Mhm.
you do have people who are culturally separating from this. Because for me, again, somebody who watched Friends but also watched Living Single and was surrounded with blackness my entire life, this wasn't as much of a priority as, say, I don't know, the Rogers and Hammerstein's Brandy Cinderella. I mean, I know that was a couple years before, but I'm
Oh,
saying like
wow.
I'm saying if we're looking at
Digging
shit
it
to
up, huh?
consume, if we're looking at stuff to
You gotta
consume,
find a way to put Whitney Houston in there somewhere, don't you?
hey,
Okay.
look, shit, her and Cicely Tyson, if you know, you know. So yeah, I think Scream 3 is bad, but I'm one who actually likes bad movies too. So for me, I'm
Okay.
recognizing that this is a terrible. Go ahead.
Hold
What you got?
on.
What you
There's a
got?
nuance to liking bad cinema, bruh. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
something that we know that's bad that we enjoy because it's bad. This
Mm-hmm.
is bad and it's not even enjoyable, bruh. Like this is a major movie franchise. Like there's a new like people have to kind of get an understanding. There's a nuance to liking bad cinema.
Come
This
on.
just sucked. Like this was just really shitty. It was a
It,
shitty movie. It
if
The twist made no sense. Well, not even a twist, but
the mother,
the
that's
mother thing, the killer, who the killer is, because I know you're trying to. I'm not going to spoil it until you get to that point. But who
mm-hmm.
they made the killer and why, it was just really just stupid, and it just didn't make a lot of sense, and I just didn't want to deal with it anymore.
So
Sorry.
no. I think that's fair. For me, a lot of times when I look at properties like this, I think of it in terms of comic books, and that's what this felt like to me. It felt like a poorly done comic that tried to, like, if you, let's say DC came to you and said, "I want you to write Green Lantern today," you may make an attempt to say, "Okay, Green Lantern been around for X amount of years. Let me go back through the decades,
Mm,
pick out some stuff." So I want to tell my story, but maybe he had a girlfriend who died off panel. Let's bring her in, and there's a way to do that that makes sense. But then there's a way to do it where it's like, yeah, she died, but I put my ring to the sky and now she's alive. That makes no sense in the continuity of the show.
my-
And that's what
I
I think
put my
this is.
ring to the sky.
I'm saying in Captain
And black,
Planet,
and black
in
as day.
Blackest Night,
This is black as night, but he just like, come on back.
yeah, resurrection.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying. I think this, because an attempt was made, and I think that with the meta commentary on horror slasher films and the application of real life, i.e., in the movie real life, that was good, and I think that because they did that so well twice, you kind of bit off more than you could chew. I don't know if this script needed a few more edits, maybe needed a few more eyes on it, but this was camp in a bad way. From Courtney Cox bangs to the
What was
killings
that
themselves.
about?
She said she looked
I
into the
said, white
future.
woman, stop that.
She saw what Beyonce was going to do years from now, and she said, "I'll beat her to the punch."
Okay, let's not. Let's okay.
The babes was up here.
Come on. Let's not do that.
But no,
You ain't even
it's
got tickets to the show, so let's calm down.
hey, I do. I
Them
ain't paid my
bootleg
bills.
tickets. Them bootleg. You got some bootleg tickets. Don't go
Hey,
to
but
the
I'm gonna be
gate.
there.
Don't
I'm
go
gonna be
to the gate and
outside.
get turned around. Don't
No,
have them
my
arrest
ticket's on
your
the
ass.
outside. I'm on the outside in the back. I can put my ear against the wall. But no, I this is a very 2000s movie, but it is a very it feels like a Malibu's Most Wanted, just a little bit more serious. It feels like it's
It
trying
ain't
to
even
be.
that on that level.
It's
It's
trying
not
to.
even on that level.
Hmm.
You're giving this movie a little bit too much credit. This movie is
Okay, that's
just,
fair.
it's a little all over the place for me.
Mm-hmm.
I know we were trying to get to the end game on here. We're trying to get to the killer, but it's so some of the stuff that they do in this movie is so dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And it's when you think about it, you have people talking about like the voice changer is like the
Man,
main is like the main character. I'm like, when did he have time to get all of y'all's voices like that?
and
Like,
how? Like
you know what I'm saying? Like,
that
I
pissed
know it's
me off.
Hollywood, and I know he can like he's a director. He's been around Hollywood for so long, he can do all this shit. But like, come on, bro. Like,
Yeah.
that. I think some of the more predictable kills, like some of those kills were real predictable. Like the
Mm-hmm.
bodyguard when he was just like, "I'm checking out your trailer, Stu." I'm like, "Oh, you dead?" Like,
Yeah.
and the jump scares were so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Like it didn't have it just you felt the repetitive nature of like what the movie was gonna like you knew the beats. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? It's like I heard this song several
Yeah.
times, so I know when the drum's about to drop, or I know
Yeah.
when the beat's about to switch up or something. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like they ran out of tricks.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair because I would even venture to say that the cast was not good and not good like the acting, whatever. I'm not speaking to acting quality, but the cast of Stab, I didn't care. Like me
Mm,
going into it, even all these years later, I came into it really only caring about Dewey, Sydney, and Gale. And it's not only because they are the main cast from the original franchise, from the original installments, it's
mm.
also because you didn't do the work. Like Jenny, what's how do you
Jenny
pronounce her last name?
McCartney.
McCartney. Yeah, her being in this movie in 2000 probably was a big deal. But I don't want to see like, let's say you remade this same movie and put Rihanna there. I'm excited for Rihanna, but even if this was Rihanna, you didn't do enough with that character to make me care. You're relying on me seeing Jenny or me seeing Rihanna and that being the person who I cared about in the first installment. And that doesn't matter. Like I think
Mm.
Cotton's death is the one that fucked me up because I forgot that he was murdered that way. I remember the opening, but I didn't remember him being stabbed and homegirl from Gossip Girl being like attacked. I kind of forgot that. So that being said, even with all the weird shit that made this a bad movie, I just did not care about the cast.
That was the only cool part of the movie, to be honest with you.
With the cast?
The opening
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
where Cotton gets killed. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's actually. I said, okay.
I was mad, bro. I was
I
so
mean,
mad.
but I didn't want Cotton to die either. But
No,
it was a
man.
cool way. It was a cool way to open up the movie. It
Yes.
was it was just it was cool. Just how the setup was, and like
Mm-hmm.
they were just kind of confused about everything. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, maybe this will
And
be good. And then the rest of the
that's
movie happened,
yeah.
and then I was just like, well, cold water now.
And that's the thing, man. And to your point, I think it's a really good opening, especially because we don't get some teenage girl being murdered. You know what I'm saying? Like we did in the first two.
But that was the brilliance of the first one.
None, yeah, but what I'm saying is this subverted that. You didn't, yes, we saw a boyfriend be murdered in the second one, but I'm focused
Well,
on
both
Drew
of them,
Barrymore.
but Jada Pinkett,
No, yeah, that's what I'm
and
about to say.
yeah,
I'm focusing on Drew Barrymore and Jada Pinkett because you're seeing these women get killed. Yeah, he got killed too, but he got
yeah.
stabbed, and then his
Don't deny the
jacket led
brother.
to the. No, but what I'm saying is it wasn't an opening like the first two.
Right.
And it's also with a character who is, I guess he ever a main character, supporting
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, he was, because he went to jail for something he didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
He the second one, they had to work together, and
Mm-hmm.
then
Which I like
everybody was
that.
like, all right, we fuck with Cotton, and then in the third
Mm-hmm.
one, they was like, well, we don't fuck with Cotton no more, kill him.
That pissed me, bro. When I tell you that made me so mad, and I think a lot of it for me is that I like him in stuff, and so I seen him in the Manchurian Candidate, and then him being Sabretooth in the X-Men franchise.
Mm-hmm.
So I got all of that going into it, watching him for the second time decades later and seeing him get murdered. I was like, oh, nigga, kill his girlfriend. I don't care about that woman. Don't kill this.
Nah,
Like
they
set
had to
him
open
up
it up with a
again.
bang. I think
Yeah.
that's good. They open it up with a bang, though. I like that.
I do too, because it let us know anybody could get it. Like anybody. Like, yeah, he was built up and he got his redemption arc and still was murdered.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, come on.
Yeah, nobody safe.
Oof. I wish he didn't die though. Okay, so this voice change, I know we mentioned it for a second, but I want to express my frustrations with this because I at the time, I guess you're using technology that I'm sure it was around because you had Walkmans and stuff, but the
If I'm not
degree,
mistaken, I think that was a toy too.
yeah, no, yeah,
I think I remember seeing that as like a toy you could buy in the store.
yeah, I wasn't getting that, but yeah,
Oh,
I wouldn't, I wouldn't put it past me. And I have very faint memories that I can probably co-sign with you on that. But a lot of this movie, as it pertains to that, really just pissed me off because I know that you need drama. I know that you need shit to happen, and I know sometimes things will happen in dramas, mysteries, thrillers, rom-coms that are just you got to just suspend belief. For the amount of times that they used that device, I could not suspend belief. I couldn't do it. Um, I just couldn't. And speaking of, when that device was discovered towards the end,
mm-hmm.
I was hopeful because I did not remember how this movie ended. I was hopeful that the cast would like do things that made sense. But you want us to separate to go find everybody in this house when one of them is clearly the kid, bro. I was like, all right,
Y'all
I'm
been
done.
through this 2 times before, and y'all still can't get it. Here's my problem too.
Come on.
Dude is limping ass. Get
Was
the
he
fuck out
limping?
of here.
Where was
He
the limp?
was how he was hobbling through the damn through. Go back and watch it. He was.
Man, barely. No, I'm literally watching Walk Yet, but still, like
I said, get your hobbling ass somewhere out. Get away. Stop.
I wonder how much of this, because I can't recall when they were married, but I wonder how much of this required David Arquette to be in this film, or because him and Courtney Cox were like married. Because at one point they had gotten married. So I'm like, yeah,
Well,
y'all part of the. Go
he's
ahead.
a legacy character now because I think he was in 5, correct?
Yeah, he was, and even then, I was like, this nigga.
Was he still?
No,
Because I haven't seen anything past this.
I can't remember if he. I know he. I'll say this: he had and kind of sort of an addiction, kind of sort of. I'll say that because I can't remember if he like had a limp
BBL.
or anything.
He got a BBL to fix his limp.
Yes, he got a BBL. He sure did. And he was
Fucking with
throwing it
them
in a
Brazil
circle.
doctors.
This nigga. So what I don't get is in a world. Okay, follow me. This may not land like I wanted to, but
Okay.
in a world where when I'm just saying when a white girl goes missing, People are coming out in droves. I get that this is like fantasy make believe, but Sydney being terrorized to the degree that she was, I was so shocked that it didn't elicit more, not savior, more folks. Okay, her father. This is just what I'm getting at. Your dad is useless. Everybody around you seemed to be useless except for Gale. I'll kind of put Dewey in there, but he's just there as, like you said, a legacy character. I do not understand, and I guess I can because I consume a lot of true crime with podcasts, with documentaries, with shows, all that. So I get it, and there is this degree of like this stalker persona, not persona, this stalker-ish behavior, and so nobody's truly safe. White, black, brown, blue, Latino, whatever. But this does not seem believable to like in the way that they're presenting it. And I'm trying to remember if I thought that back in the day, and I don't know. Forget that it's a bad movie, but just the concept of all we've gotten to now 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 years later, and this woman has to come out of hiding. Nobody, I don't know, man. I felt for Sydney because she's been through this shit, but it's also like, how you gonna slut shame my mama in her death and keep using that against me? I did not do the shit. I am not responsible for this shit. Quit fucking slut shame. My mama is dead. She's been dead for 6 years at this point. Let her be dead. I don't care if she's busting it open for the whole neighborhood. Why are you trying to murder me behind this shit? It's just like,
we were really on the same page with that because I was just like, I said, bro,
come on,
let it go.
Let it the fuck go.
Elsa. And then it's like, well, I'm just gonna take it on you, Sydney, because your mom's not. And maybe our way of thinking was a little bit different in 2000. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
that's
like,
yeah.
But like, honestly, I'm just like,
I still would have been like, get over it.
Like, get over it, bro.
Especially, okay, let's go ahead. I'm about to let's go ahead and play the Ghostface reveal clip, and then we'll get into this.
Okay.
My film too much. He didn't like it at all. Once I supplied the motivation, all the kid needed was a few pointers. Have a partner to sell out in case you get caught, find someone to frame. It was like he was making a movie.
You. This is all because of you.
I'm a director, Sid. I direct. I had no idea that they were gonna make a film of their own. What a film it turned out to be, huh? I mean, introducing Sydney the victim, Sydney the survivor, Sydney the star.
So Rowan, the director, turned out to be Ghostface.
And her brother.
Yeah, her half brother.
Half brother. Let's not forget that. That's the twist.
That he's her half brother. Now, there's a few things. I'm of a few minds. This could have been an interesting reveal, and I'm all for a retcon, but I did not like this because you're invalidating the first film, which was the flagship, the golden child that got us into this franchise, and you're invalidating that, and now you're this secret behind the scenes, like it. That to me, I didn't like, because why? You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Just to connect it to the third? Like, you still could have went the half brother route, but then even with that, it's like, we're siblings. Both our mama is the quote unquote whore. Why? Let's commiserate over that. You seen the shit I've been through. Like, what is going on? What are you doing? Like, yeah, be mad at her. You could be mad at her, but you also, I don't know. I mean, everybody don't have the same idea about family, as we might. But I'm like, Sydney, I'm sure would be open to a half sibling. Maybe cautious because niggas tried to kill her. But like, that as a motivation, that is weird to me. That's weird to me, and that doesn't fit with what we've gotten so far. And like, To be like, oh, you manipulate Billy Loomis, nigga. What? Wah,
Yeah,
wah.
like I was like, wait, never mind. You know, I'm like, whatever, man. I was like, I'm at the point now where I'm just like, okay, well, you know, that's
That's what we
how you
doing.
want to do it, then let's just do it that way.
I would have preferred that the police officer had been Ghostface then over that. Just
Yeah, they was punching that up
yeah.
real heavy.
But like that would have to me made more sense than the
But he has
half
to be
brother.
something in relation to what could he have been in relation to
This is a
her
movie.
mom.
This movie is a retcon. He could have had a child with her. For them 2 years or 3 years that she was away from Woodsboro, he could have had a baby with her. She put the baby up for adoption. And he don't know if Sydney is his or not. And so I'm obsessed with you, Sydney.
The cop?
Yeah, some shit. I don't know.
The cop was Sydney's age. He wasn't even born back in them days.
I don't give a fuck. He could be.
You have to give a fuck. It has to make sense.
They didn't give a fuck.
Jesus.
They didn't give a good goddamn. So
you was like, he could have went back in time and fucked her, and then came back and was like, oh yeah.
And he's his own father because but it's I don't know. I just felt like
this is not Barbarian.
Hey, it's something. I think it was silly. Because they didn't. I don't know if you were supposed to just assume that maybe he has some mental issues, and not mental like demonizing folks with mental health issues, but this is the early 2000s. This is the 90s. You know, things weren't handled like they're handled now. So I wonder if you were supposed to just assume maybe he had some, but that's not what I got from him. I just got
troubled youth.
Even that felt, how do I put this? For Rowan to be the Ghostface, it really makes Stab weird. So did you take this job literally just to come on?
So he was only directing the third one. He didn't direct the other two. Stabs.
No, I know that, but I'm saying that still doesn't make it less weird. Because like, what are you? I get that you are trying to pull Sydney out of hiding, but I don't know. This still kind of falls apart.
He was mad because he didn't have a mom. When he found out who his mom was, she was just like, "I don't want you." Yeah, and he got pissed off, and he was just like, "How dare you? I'm your son, and you."
Nah, what's her acting name or whatever? You that girl, son.
Rennie Rucci, whatever. Damn, man, I don't know what
you her baby. Yeah,
you
her baby. You ain't mine.
Yeah, she just didn't swallow that day, so he ended up. She was born.
Okay.
What?
No, yes, no, nothing. No, but that was just, I don't know. I just feel like there were a ton of. I would even have accepted homegirl who won the acting competition to be like, yeah, I was either going to be a famous actress or I was going to be a famous killer, and I can two birds with one stone. Like,
isn't that what was it? Part 4?
Yes.
So you know.
But I don't know. The shit is silly. This felt, I don't want to say like a cash grab because I feel like they was like, yeah, this is third. We finna kill this shit.
I mean, the first week they made 30. I think what was the budget was 40 million, but I think that first week they made 36 million. I think internationally they ended up making 181 million dollars.
37 million. Yep. Yeah. Actually close to 90 was 89 gross US and Canada.
Yeah, internationally worldwide. Though they ended up doing over 100 mil.
Yeah,
so the movie made money. It made the budget back. Yeah.
Oh yeah, tenfold. Like it did that. But so I don't think this was a cash grab movie. I just think that it maybe didn't age well and it just wasn't put together well as the first ones. And that's unfortunate because I like this franchise. And I think the first and second one is what even pulled me to the fifth one. Because when I watched it, all of the memories I had of Scream were of the first two. And I want to say the set from the third one is what came to mind for this. And 4, I kid you not, I have no memory of 4 except for what I just said about the girl. Other than that, you don't ask me who was in it. Don't ask me where they were. Don't ask me what they were. I do not remember 4 at all.
Right. I've never seen it. I haven't seen anything. Haven't seen anything past 3.
Do you have any desire to see 5 or 6?
I do want to see 6 because the trailer got me excited. I said, "Oh, they're gonna
Okay.
be in New York." It's just, I think, the fact that wait, 6 is the one that's
New York. 6 is New York.
okay.
Mhm.
So, I'm pretty curious about how they're gonna pull something like that off in New York,
Mhm.
and I guess I'm gonna have to watch the one previously because they're connected.
I think you should, because
Yeah.
I truly feel like and I don't know where to rank them. I think 1 and 2 are great. I think 5 is a good place for you to start because though it does pull on some of the lore from the first volume, I guess, of the franchise, you don't even have to have watched any of the ones up until that, because they're going to give you what you need, and you already know the main characters who are going to be in there. So I would say watch 5, and if you don't like it, then maybe 6 ain't for you. But I do think that they try their best to do like a soft reboot, and I think they did a pretty good job with that, because without spoiling, they do the nostalgic thing, but I feel like they do some of that really well, really well. And I like Jenna Ortega, that little motherfucker. She killed it.
Mm.
She
She's
killed
a
it.
really wonderful actress too. I like her
Man, say
because I think, if I'm not mistaken, she was in X, and I really enjoyed X.
what's X? The
Horror movie from
action
last
movie?
year. No, it's a horror movie from that. Oh
Oh,
boy,
I didn't see it. Then.
it was X, and then they came out with the sequel, which was actually a prequel called what was the prequel to X? I can't remember.
Well, you looked that up. I first saw her in
Pearl.
season 3. Pearl.
Yeah. You have to watch it. Yeah, they were really good horror movies from last year.
Let me look that down. Pearl and X. Check that
Yeah.
out. Yeah, I saw her first in season 3
Oh
or
Lord.
season 2. One of them, season 2, yeah. And even there, she was so charismatic, like she just had it, and she played like age appropriate. I think she was like maybe 13, 14, and though she didn't have a huge role when she was on camera, you paid attention. And I know she was a child actress. I want to say she was on Disney Channel. I could be wrong. Y'all let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. But other people are like, yeah, I knew her from such and such. And I'm like, oh, she's the it girl. She's the girl to look out for. She's not fucking around. So I'm excited for 6 as well, hence the Scream Suite series. So we got Gale, we got Sydney, we got Dewey. Don't really gotta talk about him, and we got Ghostface. Now, overall, when it came to like specifically the murder in where Gale, the actress Gale's house blew up. What are we doing? What are we doing?
What do you mean?
So getting the facts and everybody going in and out the house, and whoever smells gas like that. That was I guess, more creative way to kill, but all of this pisses me off even more that Ron was the Ghostface, because what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, what? It felt like Scooby-Doo meets like an X-Men villain. That's what this movie felt like, and I didn't like that. I like the nostalgia of it all. I like looking back and seeing the fashions and the music from the early 2000s, but a lot of that, I was like, this could have just been a teen drama. Just could have been a teen drama. Just let this be. And I haven't watched the Scream series. I think it was MTV or VH1.
Oh, MTV did have a Scream series. Apparently, it was pretty good too.
Yeah, it had a few seasons. I only want to watch it for Kiki Palmer. But whatever, I may check that out. That ain't part of the series because I ain't watching that before 6. But yeah, these murders, man. Did you feel like they successfully set these different people up to possibly be the killer?
No, you heard what I said earlier. It was very. It was just wash, rinse, repeat. I knew what was about to happen before it even happened.
Yeah,
and the jump scares didn't help. The jump scares just kind of made the movie worse. It just didn't. It didn't work. And I'm trying to remember if I felt that way when I watched it when it came out back in the day, but
Yeah.
I was too busy trying to gangbang, so who knows?
Hey.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? In all honesty, man, it's very blah. It's not really creative. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like it just
Mhm.
didn't do it for me. So
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, especially when with 2 you did level up because you changed locations. They
mhm.
were in a different stages of their
They're in
life, so you
college,
had
yeah.
yeah, so you had to find a way to make this same story make sense for the time. And I could
And the
even
killers
see
made sense.
yeah, come on. Come on. Yeah, that to me was the best retcon was having his mom because she's in plain sight. You're not really thinking about her this bumbling fool or whatever. So I thought that was pretty good. Thought that was pretty good. But now that we're grown, you have to work even harder because you don't have the sort of closed room murder where everybody is in high school, so you got to be at the school, or everybody is in college. So though you're grown, we meet back here at college. Because the next step is maybe have it be a coworker. Like, because what are you going to do outside of passing the torch off to these kids like you did in 5? You know what I'm saying? Like, what could you possibly do to make Scream 3 better given the information they provided?
Well,
Yeah.
I think that where they went made sense though. Like
Mm-hmm.
with Sydney being off on her own and being able to the way she worked and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
made sense.
Yeah.
Um, establishing the Stab franchise and having Dewey be a person that's we talk about all the time, having somebody who was actually there on the
Yeah.
set to kind of
Mm-hmm.
help guide them through what's good and what's not good made sense.
Yeah.
Cotton's job made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Gale's job, she was a sleazy part of a sleazy newspaper, made sense. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
everything that they were doing made sense to what each character. The movie just was dumb and just sucked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like they set the pieces on the board very well,
Yeah.
but like I hated this. The story was just bad. It was a bad story. The killer just was shitty. It just was a
Mm-hmm.
bad movie for me. Now everybody else's experience might not be that way, but for me, I was like, this is so predictable now.
mm-hmm. One thing I feel like they should have removed was the mother. And I'm all for getting the check.
You
I'm all for getting
can't.
the check. No, no, no,
You
no, no. Like
can't.
her physically. We didn't because to
Oh,
me
it's
that
like the
was too much.
ghost.
Yeah, that was too much. To me, it felt like you
Yeah.
trying to do some sort of like exorcism adjacent type thing. Like the PTSD, I'm all for that. But like, see, I don't know. To me, that wasn't good. That wasn't a good choice.
Mm,
Um, especially because again, not to get too deep on it, but her mother being a quote unquote whore, so fucking what like that for Sydney to be seeing her mother in this like very gruesome state where she's very like villainish almost like a walking nightmare was so weird to me because though everybody's vilifying her and sex shaming her and all this other shit, that was still Sydney's mom and that's not the relationship she had with her. And I get it can be warped through all the shit you've been through, but to me, it would have made more sense to just keep seeing her die over and over again, if that's the case. But this whole, ooh, Sydney, I can't take care of you. You're just like me. Okay. We didn't need to see this. I feel like because you're now moving into a realm that you don't have the capacity or the talent to execute. You're moving into
mm,
this supernatural space. And I'm fine with if you want to go there, but when you go there, you got to be able to back it up. And I don't think it did.
mm.
Had they introduced maybe something kind of sort of like this in 2, perhaps I would have been more accepted. But this was like you got camp over the top, you got terrible plot devices like with the toy voice recorder and this damn token ass cast and shit. And then you got Ghost Mom from The Exorcist just kind of walking around. Sis, what are we
Actually, I would
doing?
go see that movie, Ghost Mom from The Exorcist.
Man, say I don't
Let's
know.
write it. That's where's the
Hey,
script?
come on.
Ghost
Get
Mom
there.
from The Exorcist.
Get there and let have a no, never
No,
mind.
no, no.
But
This
yeah,
is we're not gonna get the.
yeah, I see.
They
Yeah,
have
never mind.
enough already.
But yeah, I just feel like the mom, though a lot of the movie is bad. The mom part is what really like pissed me off. That mom adjacent when Sydney jumped out that window in the fake house and Dewey ran over to her. I don't know if this is the blackness in me or if it's just like the way I was raised, but when she was like, I forget what she said verbatim, but it was like, "Oh, I seen her, my mom or something." If I was him, I'd be like, "Girl, if you don't shut the fuck up, don't let these people think you crazy. We could talk about this later." I was like, and he didn't say it, and I knew he wouldn't. But I was like, "Man, tell her to shut the fuck up." Last thing she need to do is be committed, like a sitting duck, bro. So yeah, that was my issue. The mom, I did not like. Um, how did you feel about the VHS tape where
I thought that was
post
cool.
death? Okay, that you
Yeah,
get the
I think it
explanation.
makes sense for him to be able to guide them through, because it makes. I mean, you know, he was,
Mhm.
you know, the dude who knew about all the scam. I thought that was cool.
Mhm.
It don't get me wrong, there were a few cool parts in this movie.
Yeah.
That was one of them. It was good to see see him again, but
Mhm.
let's let's not be too quick to give this movie too much praise, because geez, they did a horrible job with a lot of the other. Then it was like I didn't really like the whole, oh, that's his sister. Like, girl, where you been at?
Yes, and how did you get on this set? And you're
You ain't
like
got no car. You don't
12
even look old enough to drive.
at all. Um, one thing I did enjoy about his appearance is, if I'm not mistaken, the outfit that Randy is wearing is the outfit he wore on the first scene of Scream 2. So he would have, if we're looking at like continuity wise,
Mhm.
he would have recorded this like right before going to that frat party. Um, yeah, because I think
Okay.
that's the same burgundy shirt. So like that attention to detail, I like. No, truly, I think that's the same. So if you're like looking at,
No, it's just you got down to the color. You was like burgundy shirt.
yeah,
I'm like,
because he
shut up.
no, because he wore burgundy and he wore green. That like green was his color, and I noticed that because in the '90s, no, seriously, in the '90s, if you look back at white people with red hair or
Burgundy
like
and
that
green.
British brown color hair, they usually are paired in green or brown. You look
Right.
at Rogue from the X-Men, you look at this nigga here, and then any number of like teen shows back in the day. But yeah, I was like, okay, I'm picking up what y'all putting down, but you know,
Let me just say this too.
come on,
Not trying to be this guy,
go ahead,
but stop putting these black folks on y'all posters and they ain't in the movie.
bro,
Stop.
bro,
Stop doing
bro.
that. Y'all put
Yeah,
Jada on the poster,
to get us in them seats.
and then y'all put Tia's boyfriend on the poster. Stop doing
Yeah,
that just
get
to
us
get
in
us
them
to come in there and
seats.
see y'all little crappy movie.
Tell me
I said,
this
no, horrible.
for Scream 2. If you have, clear memory of it, do you think that Elise Neal character and Jada Pinkett character should have been switched around? Do you think that would have made for
Nah,
okay,
because I feel like at that point, I honestly feel like Jada was a bigger deal. So for her to
okay?
get killed early in the movie, because
Makes
I think a
sense.
lot of black folks were like, oh, because Jada was in her, yeah, she was in movie mode,
Mm-hmm.
and that at that point in time, she was making like she was putting out some movies. So for
Yeah.
us to see Jada on the poster, it was like, oh yeah, okay, we coming, okay,
Mm-hmm.
Jada, and for her to die in the beginning of it, yeah, made sense.
Yeah, because
Jada
it
was
was
the
the same.
bigger actress between the two, so
Yeah,
it made sense.
but that was the same conversation we had about Drew Barrymore, how she was like the Jada of that time. She was the big name, and so she could not record the whole first movie. So like she kind of set that standard of this is what we're doing in these openings, and that's something that I personally feel like is not. I don't mind seeing that over and over again. I don't know about you, but having that big name person kind of be that opening kill,
Mhm.
even if they repeated that through 10, 11, 12 movies, because I know this kind of sets the ball rolling, I would have been okay with it. So,
We can't go past 6. Like I
no, I'm
think
not
once,
talking about the amount of movies. I'm just talking about that particular way that they open movies by like killing somebody who's a big name or whatever. So,
Mhm.
but 6, shit, we got Fast and Furious 32, Saw
different,
17.
completely different, completely different.
Hey,
I think when you have a horror franchise that's very meta, Like it's
Mhm.
gonna get to the point where the jokes, like the meta stuff, kind of. I'm like, okay, guys, like
Mhm.
I get it. Y'all are kind of reflecting what social commentary is, but like I don't want to see that anymore. And it's getting kind of like that with the Fast franchise. Like when you see a
Mhm.
fucking car pull two helicopters together and crash them, I'm like, all right, guys, we get
It's
it. We've seen
Avengers.
that three
This is
movies
Avengers.
ago. Y'all did the same thing, bro. Like just kind of let it go, man.
Yeah.
Like I think what we're missing in Hollywood, and I consistently am going to preach this because it needs to be said. We have a lack of creativity,
Come on.
and I'm tired of us having to deal with legacy sequels. I'm tired of us doing remakes. I'm tired of
Mm.
us like we're about to get another Beverly Hills Cop. We're about to get another Bad Boys movie. We're about to get like we have to get to a point where we have to Hollywood has to learn how to get some new IPs and make new stuff. Like I'm
Mhm.
prime example,
Come on.
the Disney live action remake stuff. Like they are bombing in this stuff.
Mm.
Like the Lion King was not that good. The
Mm.
Mulan live action, you
Oh
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like they keep doing
Mhm.
live action stuff versions
'Cause
of
it's
the
lazy.
right. Like we have a lot of creatives who want to. I need, you know, I want more insecures and I want more lack for a better word because I'm not really a big fan of the show, but it's insecure light, which is Harlem. I want more of those type
Mhm.
of shows.
Yeah.
Or I just want more creativity outside of just what we keep on getting, which is part 8 of something or part
Yes.
10 of Fast and Furious, or
Mhm.
like we have a bunch of I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people in Hollywood that are very creative and that can make new IPs. It's just the fact
Mhm.
of us being able to have um people to support those ideas more. Like I
Yeah.
don't want any more. Like I'm kind of over as much of because we're gonna do Bel Air second season,
Yes, coming
but
soon.
I don't want no more of those.
Yeah.
Very great concept. The story behind it is wonderful,
Mhm.
but let's make new stuff like the Upshaws. I think that's on
That's
Netflix.
damn good. That
You
is
get what I'm
good.
saying?
That is
Traditional
good.
family sitcom, black sitcom,
Mhm.
hilarious. You got Mike Epps, you got Kim Fields, you got Wanda
Wanda
Sykes, you
Sykes.
got some
Mhm.
comic gold in that and
Mhm. And
in
they
them shows.
And they truly are like I'm no bullshit. Like they truly are funny. That is a funny show. And it really shocked me because there's a show with, and I forget which Maury's sister it is, but it's a similar show and it's not that great to me. However, it's in the same line. It's still live studio audience, stage play setup. And it's not for me, but I think if you were someone who enjoyed those original Tyler Perry films or those old school black shows like Thea and Rock and shit, you would definitely enjoy Loretta Devine and whichever Maury sister that is. But Upshaws, bruh, that shit is funny.
Right.
That's
And
funny.
it's just like I just want more of those in our films. Like we're getting superhero overload right now, man.
Hmm.
Um, and then we get some tradition like Plane. I don't know if you've seen Plane or not.
Yeah,
Plane is like
I
a
ain't seen it, but I want to. Yeah.
throwback to them old 90s action
Yes.
movies. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
I just want us to get out of this these legacy sequels and this stuff like that and get more into original ideas. Like we're not
Hmm.
getting enough original ideas, man. And
Yeah, I
it's just
agree.
like I think I'm tired of people banking on nostalgia all the time. Like
Hmm.
I get it.
It's I don't get it because we have grown up. And so I watch a lot of YouTube, even when it's and I don't want to say bad because I don't want to kind of talk shit about anybody in their creative process, but it's indie. I'll say that. A lot of stuff I watch is very indie, and a lot of it is overseas, and it's just people who want to make a project and they get it done. And when you bank on nostalgia like that, we are of a certain age. We're going to get to the point where, yeah, you'll probably still cater to us because we grew up when technology switched over like it did. But people our age have kids. People our age, some may have grandkids. And I say that because what are these kids getting that's not nostalgic based around us that they can then in their 30s, 40s, and 50s be like, oh, I remember watching Scream 6 back in the I remember Fast and Furious 12. Like, what are they getting that isn't something that's streamed today, but then is going to be, HBO Max canceled tomorrow? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are they going to look back on in 10, 15, 20 years from now and be like, oh, this was my
That
jam?
live action Nickelodeon run with like iCarly and all those things.
Yeah, but those people are even
They
our
brought them back,
they're in our age, our generation bracket. They may
but
be
they
our little
brought
cousins.
iCarly back. Didn't you see
Yeah,
that?
I saw that, but like them niggas got to grow up too. They got 9 to 5s just like us. So
Right.
like what they kids watching. So, and I'm sure there's probably something out there because I'm not 14. I'm
Yeah.
not 12. So I'm sure there's something that they're consuming that will speak to that. But it's like you have people who are showing you every day on this app and every other social media app that they have the drive and they have the desire to get a story out. But because it's not, I don't know, Cinderella for the 50th time or like,
Mhm.
I don't know, Transformers. Another issue I have is kind of to your point where if you want to give me give me Scream, but don't give me Scream. You can give me a Scream 7, but just don't name it Scream. Like the interesting story you want to tell that you're attaching to this property, give me your own thing. Like,
That
because
doesn't
Scream
sell
5,
tickets.
hmm?
What you're asking for doesn't sell tickets. The Scream franchise and the Scream brand sells
Mm-hmm.
tickets, man.
No, I get
Like
that. I get that.
and I know what you're asking for,
Mm-hmm.
but what studios understand sales and business, and
Which is so
they
weird.
understand numbers, and they understand that like until we figure out that hey, we're not going to put our money down, but now it's a little bit harder to not put our money down anymore either because it can just go straight to streaming and we already subscribed. So
Mm-hmm.
we're caught in a rock and a hard place of trying to figure out what can we do to get new IPs and new ideas and new
Mm-hmm.
shows and new stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to kind
Support
of
the
figure out.
indies. You got to support the indie. You got to support the indie folks who are doing the work.
Sounds
That's
good,
how
man.
Issa
But
Rae.
when you got YouTube changing the changing
Bro,
up the
yeah.
rules every other year to keep people from getting monetized and them to continue to get sponsorships from people, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to be an indie creative, independent
Mm-hmm.
creative when you can't even put it on a platform that you're used to.
Yeah, we're moving towards a Black Mirror episode. Like, if we ain't already there, hell.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's I don't know. You just gotta, and it's unfortunate that the burden falls on the consumer to like seek out this stuff. I mean, it's always
we're
good to
lazy
discover
though.
something new. Shit. Well, no, you are overall. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's just give. Let me consume what's being given to me.
Mhm.
Hell, we saw that even with reviewing Bel Air, all the comments and frustrations about like Ashley, like you could just not watch, or you could watch the whole thing and see that ain't what this is about.
Mhm.
So yeah, you're right. Lazy, just get what they give us,
Yeah,
and
I mean, and it's easier. It's instead of us kind of saying, "Hey, we want more new stuff." Um, we accept what they give us when it's rehashed. Like I know we're completely off
come
topic
on,
now, but
come on,
it kind of goes back to Netflix. Netflix always has really good original shows, and they are quick to cancel them.
yeah. I'll say that, especially to the canceling part. I'll say that.
Like you'll
Yeah,
get into a show on Netflix, and I'm like, "That's actually pretty good." It's like, well, sorry guys, we're gonna
you
cancel it.
thought.
Like, since
Yeah,
what was it? Since 6, since 5. What was the name of
since
that
eight,
show?
since eight,
Since 8.
yes, that, bro.
And they was just like, and they had to people had to literally write in and say, can we get a last season? Like, come on,
Yep.
y'all. So
That was, and oh my god, don't even get me started. That was such a fucking good. When you talk about representation and diversity, that show did it, and it did it well, and it
mhm.
did it in a way that made sense. This wasn't here's a trans character, here's this very special African nigga, here go this goddamn Asian chick.
Africans,
Like, no, but I'm saying like they didn't just give you. Let me go down the list of all the boxes to check. They did in a sense in a sense that they gave you those characters, but everybody felt flushed out. You could still have your issues with their storylines, like when they switched up that black actor and he did not look nothing like the original. And when the
Right.
Asian chick was in prison, like all that, but even that was like a testament to how well that story was, that she was locked up in prison. And but you're right, you got good shit and you scrap it. And do you know how many other shows and movies I found just from that good show?
Mhm.
Like the actors and actresses, like, oh, what else have they been in? And like, bro, but I digress.
Mhm.
We're living in the age of Aquarius. I don't know.
We just
So
I think it's way too easy to get our money off of putting a name that
yep.
we know of and it sounds familiar.
Hmm.
And we should not be getting another Beverly Hills Cop. Personally.
That's news to me, and that's weird. I
Yeah,
don't want that.
I think it's almost done. Like Eddie Murphy, either they started filming it or they're finishing it up. But yeah,
But hell, we're
he
even
still
getting
got that
another.
same. He still got that same coat. He still wearing that same Detroit coat. I was like,
You
Eddie,
know
you got
what?
like 12 kids, bro. You can let that coat go. Get that
Yeah,
one of your
pass that
kids.
down. Right. Let me see. The thing is, see, we're even getting. I saw today. I'm pulling up now. We got Creed, which I'm all for that, but let's put a cap on it. I Am Legend 2 with Michael B.
Yeah,
Jordan and Will Smith,
and Will
set
Smith.
decades after the original film. Now that's something I would be interested in, but that's for me. That's one thing in a sea of so many. Like this could be
Mhm.
damn good, but it's also like, couldn't you have just made a second movie, but just called it something else? Like, but yeah,
Or just capitalize on the time in a good time frame. We went through this through the Best Man
yes.
franchise.
Hmm.
And you and I both agreed that too little, too late for a lot of this shit.
Yeah, yeah. It's unfortunate. And you're not doing anything quick because we even talked about, okay, why not just do an unfinished business season? Like that's a way to still pay homage to the original so many years later and still give a good quality show that is its own thing, but you can take the fame of but whatever, that's what happens. um, so shit, yeah, that's that, man. With Scream, to kind of circle back, watching the first two you enjoyed, the third one was a no-go, and you said you're open to at least watching the fifth one because New York got you excited. Is there anything that the Scream franchise would need to do that for you would be like, all right, I'm in for at least maybe one or two more movies?
I don't think so. I mean, and that's just me going off of the first three movies.
Mm,
I can't give you a good answer with that because I
I
haven't
get it.
seen 4, 5, and 6 or 4
Mm.
and 5.
Don't watch four. Just watch five. If you don't watch, well, I mean, you might need to watch four, 6 because I think, oh,
It's got to be it's got to be a character from 4 because it's basically the second
yeah,
trilogy for
yeah, it
the
is.
franchise. But like
It is.
when we get to the point where we having second trilogies for stuff, it's a lot, man. And I want
Mhm.
new and different, and I want more new and different stuff to entertain me. Like I'm
Yeah.
tired of being like Scream 6. Well, why not?
Let's
I don't
do it.
care anymore.
Let's
You know
do
what I'm
it.
saying? That was a
Mhm.
time. That was a I mean, a lot of people really enjoyed the last Scream movie.
Mhm.
Several. I watch a lot of movie review YouTubers,
Yeah.
and they really enjoyed it. But I just want new. Like I know we're going long on time.
No, you good. Go ahead.
I've been a Chris Stuckman fan for a very long time, as far as like
Mhm.
movie reviewers. I
Mhm.
love him. I have watched him forever on YouTube, and he's finally
Yeah.
going to be able to make. He's a very big horror fan, and
Hmm.
he's finally going to direct. He's directed and making his own horror movie,
Come
which
on.
it's called Shelby Oaks, and I am going to
Let me
be
write that
there to
down.
watch it, to support it, because
Shelby
he did a
Oaks.
GoFundMe. He did a he did a Kickstarter. His Kickstarter was like tripled. I think he tripled what he originally needed to make his movie.
Oh, come on
Um,
now.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but he's gonna come out with something that's original because he's gonna base it on um videos scary videos that you used to see on YouTube, like the I
Mhm.
can't remember
The
what they're
Slender
called.
Man.
Yeah,
Oh,
stuff like that. Like
yeah.
he's gonna base it off those types of things that you could see on YouTube, and then it's very
It
interesting.
sounds
I'm
good.
gonna watch it because I've been watching him review movies forever. But yeah,
Mhm.
he's gonna do Shelby Oaks. So it's just we need to support more things like that. And just seeing what he had made off of his Kickstarter to be able to get his movie off the ground and make it and direct it and have his directorial debut and him making his first movie being a horror movie.
Mhm.
I'm here for
Oh,
it.
I'm
I'm gonna
looking at
I'm
it
gonna
now.
most definitely support it, and I'm
Woo!
gonna
In
go to the
July.
theater and watch it because I Chris Stuckman is a name. I trust his movie reviews. I trust what he's because I've watched him on YouTube
Mhm.
forever.
I've seen his face before. I'm looking up the Shelby Oaks movie now, and this look the imagery. Well, just the poster alone, this does look a little dark.
Mhm.
Look a little dark, nigga. You know, I
He
just
makes
got into horror last year. Like, hold
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Okay. Well, this is cool. I'm put that on my list, and I'll actually link to the IMDb
He
for
has
Shelby
he
Oaks.
actually he was actually putting up a vlog on YouTube about the making of and everything.
That's what's up. Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
check that out, y'all. Because if it's that, but that's what we're speaking to. That's like the Issa Rae route, where she was making these YouTube series and got picked up by I Am Other the For Real collective and was able to like kind of put forth more money, quality, and whatnot. So there's a lot of indie folks, even Black and Sexy TV. I remember watching them die hard back in the
Mhm.
like 2010, 2011 ish area where I first got into Issa Rae as well. So yeah, support indie folks. And for those of you listening, be it podcast or YouTube, if you have any um indie anything, it could be romance, drama, horror, whatever. If you have something like that, or if you know of something, leave it in the comments. Or if you're over on Twitter, hit me up at CBN Pod and let me know. Like, this is, I think this will be sort of a, I don't know, mantra or whatever going forward, is trying to really find those indie things that may not even be in my realm and my
Mhm.
brand. Because again, you get an Issa Rae and now you get this Chris, what's his last name? I'm sorry.
Chris Stuckman,
Chris Stuckman. You get
who
these
is a white
folks.
man. I
Yeah,
know
no,
it's
no, yeah.
Black History
No,
Month,
no, no,
y'all,
no,
but
no. That's
he's a
fine.
white
But
guy.
what I'm saying is, even though that may not be directly line up with my brand on paper, that's still something I would go out of my way to see because it's something indie and it's something new and it's something different. So
And he's a
if
YouTuber.
that too, YouTube brethren.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, if y'all got anything like that, please leave that in the comments, and I'll definitely visit some of those links and see what's what. Because yeah, instead of reboots and continuations, let's get something new. I don't care if it's a movie about a babysitter who turns into a
Mhm.
genie and fights the devil. I just want something new. You know what I'm saying? Mom, the babysitter's a mystical demon killer. So
Wow.
yeah. So with Scream, do you have any final thoughts or any questions, comments, concerns, or anything related to the Scream franchise?
No, man. I like I said before, 3 was just like that's when I was just like, I ain't watching no more. I said, y'all got me for 3 movies. I ain't watching nothing else.
And he said, "Y'all got me. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me,
Right.
Scream 4.
Yeah. I was just like, nah, y'all can
Uh,
have it. I'm not doing it.
that's what's up. Well said. Makes sense. And so we're gonna close things out and let these folks know where they can find you, support you, and all that good stuff.
Oh, if you guys want to find me, I'm always on Twitter at Cole Jackson12, or you can find me on Instagram at Cole Jackson_BYNK. I host a live radio show every Thursday called Thursday Night Lights on bynkradio.net, where you can always catch new music, new releases, news, music news, all that kind of stuff. So
Bet
that's it.
that. Bet that. Those links will be in the show notes, mine as well. Twitter, Carefree Blur, TikTok, Carefree Blur, Carefree Black Nerd everywhere else. Type it into all your podcast listening platforms. You see me online, scream, say something, shout. And my links will be in the show notes as well. And thank you guys for rocking with us for this third episode. Let me know your thoughts. If you hate it, love it, you agree, disagree with us, all fine and good. Let me know. Use that hashtag Scream Sweet. And until next time, y'all, stay carefree, stay nerdy, stay geeky. And if you have a job where you've had to change your entire identity and become another person for the safety of you and your family and friends, don't let any damn motherfucker come to you with no bullshit talking about I'm your half brother, sister, or whatever. Go for the head. Go for the head. Stab, shoot, whatever you got to do, go for the head. All right, y'all.